Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all you've got to do is practice. You know, John, I had plans for tonight. I had plans that were very, very, very well thought of and well thought out. And then I forgot to end the stream before we started the stream, which means that half an hour of playing music and stuff like that is now going to have to be edited out when I go ahead and put this up on YouTube.
But, I mean, you love editing so much.
Editing in YouTube is the worst thing in the world. And, man, am I full of regret. Anyway, the other thing I'm full of is piss and vinegar because, hey, it's the first day of the return of sanity in the United States. It's the first day of sanity returning to the United States. Hey, rumor on the streets has it that our former Grand Poobah is thinking about starting his own political party.
Yeah, I heard that. The Patriot Party, that's going to go over well.
I would like to help support that movement. Anyway, if you're a Republican and you feel disenfranchised by the people who did not help Trump, you get right on in on that Patriot Party. You just join up, tell your friends, get over there. Make sure that enough of you guys, and remember, make sure you run a candidate in every one of those races, folks. You got that Patriot Party. You need to put that in there. Make sure you get that candidate in because we absolutely support your right to vote.
Yep.
Anyway.
John, you may be wondering why I'm wearing a hoodie.
Well, John, I did notice that you'd thrown the hoodie up during the very beginning here. Why, John? Why are you wearing a hoodie?
Because it's cold outside, man. It's negative 45.
Oh, boy, you were reaching for that one. Wow, that was like you weren't kidding when you said you were reaching for a joke at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Ha cha cha.
Take it off stream because taking off clothes on stream is against terms of service.
Oh my God, I would get us so banned these days. You mean I can't wear my underwear on my head anymore?
There's nothing about wearing your underwear on your head. You just can't take it off on stream. It's weird.
I'm pretty sure I took all my clothes off on stream.
I'm pretty sure you did too, but I'm pretty sure we were small potatoes enough that Titch didn't really care.
You're right. I mean, folks, we were small taters then. We're smaller taters now. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, folks, at the beginning of the show, it's been a tradition for years and years. We talk about our beverage updates. Legionnaires, I got to go hit the Pel for a few minutes. Peloton? Okay. Cool. Get after it, Legionnaires. I've as I mentioned in the Facebook post and all of the 4 or 5 other painting things that I put our stream on that clearly nobody paid any attention to.
Clearly.
I'm drinking water tonight because I'm drinking out of the Painting with Menoth John water bottle that Belinda Librarian had made for me many years ago. It still works and it's great. It's not all full of mold and shit. It's fantastic. And that's what I'm drinking tonight is water because I'm getting blood work done tomorrow because I haven't had my cholesterol checked in 18 months. What about you, buddy?
Well, I am drinking. I was hemming and hawing over getting a dark and stormy, but it's not dark and stormy out anymore.
No.
So I figured I'd go with a force blow because we force blew that fucker out of office.
All right, force blow that, and it's orange. So there you
Yep.
have it. On behalf of the Patriot Party, hey, Ron.
Ron.
Sword drills, you say? You ought to probably get a hold of Beer Machine Rich. He's heavily into that sword swinging thing. You know, folks, if you're watching this show, we haven't done an advertisement in a long old time. If you're watching this show, may I recommend its sister program, the Mothership RPG, seen on this very channel at this very time every other Wednesday. If the Painting with Mouth John Wednesday night experience is something that you enjoy, relish, you need to click on that subscribe button and mash that bell like all those other YouTubers tell you to do. Well, I want you to do it to old Uncle Menoth John while you're here. And if you're catching this on the Twitches, you might consider hitting the button and subscribing to the Twitching as well, because if you hit that button, you'll be notified when we're Twitching, and that could happen at any time of the day or night, and you would want to know when John or I am Twitching. So
Yep.
That's right, it could happen. So,
And if you want to support us monetarily, keep your money, give it to some other worthy charity instead. We don't need it. We good.
Nope. You can send it to
We
the
got
Freedom Party. Send it to the Freedom Party. Those guys are going to need it because their poobah is about to stare down the barrel of $300 million in Deutsche Bank. So I was talking the other day, this morning I should say, now that Trump pardoned those four monsters that from Blackwater Security that were killing the civilians, I'd like to see Deutsche Bank extend a little olive branch to those four gentlemen, because I'm sure they're probably having a difficult time finding work as a mercenary right now.
In this country, yeah.
Maybe Deutsche Bank could find a job for them in Florida, because that would be, a debt collection agency, if you will.
I was going to think hunting down some vermin.
Could be vermin. Could be vermin. You never know about the. I heard in Florida they got the dreaded orange rat, and that sucker, that can only be taken out with extreme prejudice, because he's full of extreme prejudice.
Yeah, no doubt.
So anyhow, there you have it. So we're drinking water, we're kicking ass, we're taking names. Freedom is in the air, tastes like victory, and hey, we're doing another Painting with Menoth John show, number 210 of the modern era, and tonight we're going to be working on a model called the Wolf with No Name. So that's why we called the stream with no name, and patterned after the character portrayed by Clint Eastwood in the spaghetti westerns. And so I will be painting him in the style of the Man with No Name, except that I kind of blew it with the cloak color choices. So we're going to see what I can. He has either a green or a brown cloak. And when you have a wolf, I should say, that is wearing all brown and his fur is brown, and then there's brown clothes on the brown fur, everything goddamn brown. In his movies, he wears a brown vest with a blue shirt, and I believe I can't remember if it's blue pants or if it's brown pants, but I'm going to be going with we'll talk about color schemes here in a little bit, but it was going to be too brown. So, but John, we do also like to show some of the things that we've been working on since the last time we were together, and because there was an attempted coup by the future Freedom Party on last Wednesday, or no, 2 Wednesdays ago when we were going to have the show, we didn't necessarily get a chance to get together. So I'll show off a couple of things I've been working on. I got a couple of models done while we were not doing things. And I'm going to try and make this thing. So here is, I'm going to put it up here on the old camera. Let's see, what was I calling her? Sabine Dez. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. There. Maybe that's working. God, I hate... Wait, I know how to fix this. Nobody's really watching this show, so I'm going to go ahead and try and... I'll fix this up here so we can do it. Logitech camera settings. And This is the 930. I just got to wait for it to load. Okay, and then I'm going to fix the focus on it. Okay, focus. Where are you? Autofocus? No, get that shit out of here. Okay, and now I'm going to fix the focus. There we go. See if I can get her in the light here. But you can see her now pretty good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like how her hair turned out. It's got kind of this purple to orange fade to it, like Sabine Wren.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my first model with my new Scale 75 metallics.
I told you about
And
those.
I am here to tell you, folks, my brushes may never touch another Privateer Press metallic as long as I'm alive. They are outstanding to work with.
Vallejo still makes some that are pretty good, and I don't know if they have the exact same colors in like Scale 75, but man, Scale 75 ones are
Off the hook. They paint like actual paint.
yes.
That not. I mean, I think most of us had the experience of trying to work with a Privateer Press metallic, where it's
Well, the newer ones were better.
the
The
better,
newer ones were better. The old ones were terrible.
but you had to almost slop it on in order to get it on the model to have any coverage. This is the Meccano shredder, and this is all Scale 75 metallics, and you can just see it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Coat's so easy. Coat's so nice. I'm trying to get this. Okay, here we go. See if you can see the teeth. I'm a scary Meccano shredder. Ooh. And yeah, and I put a little. I used like a little bone color on the horns, like maybe he was created out of a dead shredder.
Yeah.
And so he's got the shredder horns, and he's got little shredder feet. Like maybe they pulled some toenails off of him, and he's got little shreddy hands. And so yeah, I think he turned out pretty. He's very quick model to paint. So which brings us to this guy. Now I'm going to try and leave. Maybe I'll leave the autofocus kind of. Let me see if I can get that, because that's about where I'm going to be painting. That looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's leave the focus right there. And this is the Wolf with No Name. Now, I'm pretty happy with where the cloak ended up, as far as its shading. And this is coal black on a zenithal shaded. And then what I did is I came back with the white ink to bring up the highlights. So now he's got a shirt, and he's got these pants that are the next major things that need to be blocked out. I was thinking to go with the rucksack tan, although he has a blue shirt in the movies, and I think a blue shirt will get lost in with this cloak. So I think I'm just going to go with the rucksack tan for his shirt, make it kind of a little leathery shirt. And then maybe for the pants, I do a dark blue, I don't know. What do you think, John? You've always got good ideas.
I would definitely go with the rucksack tan on the shirt, and then see where that goes. There's a lot of colors available for pants. You could do a gray pants depending on how things go. You may not want blue because it'll go too much into the cloak.
Yeah, blue. Yeah, I mean gray. I mean, let me get the shirt on him, and then see what it looks like, and maybe it turns into just taking this zenithal shaded that I have here and just hitting it with Nolan oil to just kind of darken it up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe then it's just kind of done. So, okay. So, we're going to go ahead and do that then. Good suggestions. Appreciate your help on that one, John. Take off my glasses so I can see what the hell it is I'm doing. So, what have you been painting, John?
Well, I've been doing the Imperial Knight. You guys follow me on Twitter or Facebook, or on the Hobby Streak Facebook group or whatever. You can see my updates daily. And the Knight's coming along. He's actually just his legs, which I'm not too worried about because the bottoms are already bad because this is a secondhand model.
Got it.
I'm going to spend a lot of time on the secondhand model. And then the top carapace and stuff. So he'll be done actually shortly.
Okay.
And then I just got to finish up the coat of arms. He's got a big shield that goes on one side. And I'm doing some freehand on that. And that's not easy.
Oh.
But
freehand's not for the weak of heart.
yeah, just doing some simple geometric shapes within geometric shapes to try and get something going there.
Sure.
So let's come along, and then finished up my Rebel Trooper Captain. I think that'll be about my final form for the overall paint scheme. Only thing I might change is his shirt's blue. I might go with a gray just because it gets lost now that I've changed to a darker green coat.
Sure.
I'm actually I could probably show off some of this stuff. It's almost like I got a second camera I could put this stuff on, huh?
Yep.
Let us go to USB video device, as it is called. I need an extension cord to get it there. All right, and I'll take a look at this.
Oh,
guy.
Nice. Hey, that's
like
really good.
The shirt kind of does get lost behind the green and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll go with gray. It'll be a little bit lighter. And then, even though it's really wacky, I do like the turquoise and red camo scheme.
I think it looks really good, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little more on his shoulder thing, too. I want a little more definition there. But yeah, overall, I mean, he's got a lot of parts that not necessarily all the guys have, but I'm just trying to get a core idea of what I'm painting so that when I go and paint the other guys, I can know exactly what I'm doing. Because I went from something like this guy, where I realized the gray was getting lost too much.
Yep.
The green just worked better with it. So, working from there. And this is the coat of arms I'm working on. I'm going to make the little...
Oh, that looks really good.
Looking at these things, I'm going to make them like wolf head, stylized wolf head, just put little eyes on them, paint them a different color, and then call that a day. It'll be good enough. I mean, Knight doesn't necessarily fit under all of it so well, but he's coming along. Lots of wires. If I may suggest to anyone building one of these, do your darndest to paint it in chunks, not all assembled, because trust me, chunks, not all assembled. And that's pretty much what I've been working on. Slow and steady, just keeping it going. Keeping myself sane, so to speak.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Legionnaires is not recommending brown pants as it may cause to summon the Deadpool.
Brown pants are perfect, so just in case,
Yep.
If it happens, then you're ready.
You are absolutely ready for action at that point. That's why
you get the red pants.
That's right. You don't want those because that's for hiding blood. Works for him,
yep.
But oh yeah. Oh, the fun of painting in tight spaces.
Yeah.
Your eyes suck. And you're old.
I'm telling you, John, what you gotta do. You older than me, I've had to get this boy out here.
Yeah.
I have to. I just can't. I mean, I can paint a lot of stuff without it, but as soon as you start getting the detail, gots to.
Yeah, that day's coming real soon.
Also need to go to the eye doctor because my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, mine gets pretty well adjusted every time now. I went there for years and years where that prescription was more or less the same, and now it's every time it's something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think computers have something to do with that. I mean, we're not necessarily built for staring at computers.
No, the other thing I'll tell you that happened with the exercising that I was doing where I lost all the weight is that affected my eyesight, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Because it just I guess it does have an effect on kind of the, I don't know if it's the muscles or if it's the the shape of my head has changed a little bit and narrowed out, so things are, I don't know, who fucking knows.
So, I mean, you do remember when they sent Chris Hadfield up to the space station for that all long time, they found out that eyes are not going to do well in space. So, luckily, now that NASA knows, that means they're working on it. And that's when innovation happens.
Yeah, they got turns out when you're evolved in 1G, there could be some things that depend on that 1G.
And funny enough, eyes in space is related to something I'll be talking about during the media section for a little teaser.
Nice. Oh, look at you tying that all together. That's a sign of the kind of professional podcasting only this show can deliver. Did you know, John? Yeah. Were you aware that we are not the only Wednesday night painting show of painting miniatures?
I was not aware, actually, but it doesn't surprise me.
There was some guy, I just ran into him. He had 50 people watching his stream. I felt like kicking him in the dick.
That happens. I mean, we're not really, you know, we're doing this mostly for us. I'm glad that people come in, hang out, and enjoy us, but this is our time. Just let them in and see. You know, Talcazar and Legionnaires and everybody who shows up frequently. I saw Kathy Waffle was here, but I guess she got bored and wandered off.
I don't know. You know, I mean, the countdown timer clearly explicitly said this is when the extravaganza is getting loose. So I'm going to put a little magic wash on this in a little while, and it'll be fine.
So yeah. I don't even get worried about that anymore. I'm like, until I put that wash on it, I ain't even worried.
I'm wondering what to do with these tassels. Because I got the kind of the coal black going on. And just kind of wondering what to do with them. I'm thinking I might maybe put like a green on it or something, or something a little, I don't know. I don't know what to do with them. I was doing some looking on the old internets there, and I was trying to figure out, you know, what are some good colors to go with a turquoise.
Well, it all depends on what you want. I mean, if you're trying to be flamboyant, I would go with like a washed out yellow or something. Let me think here. Got a color for that? Maybe even a darker bluish color, maybe even full black with some little highlight on it, or a dark gray with black wash on it. Just sort of depends on what you want to look at. But that's a good one to wait till the end on, see what you need to tie it together. Because honestly, since it's mostly visible in the back, you don't want anything too ostentatious because it'll draw the eye away from the rest of the model. You want something kind of neutral to keep your eyes focused. Interesting. Yeah, I think definitely when you get the hat and everything done, hat and the gun done, that'll be a good time to figure out what you need.
Yeah.
Because the hat and the gun are too eye-catching. You'll want to do that, something more eye-catching, then it'll sort of center you back on the model.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Almost like I know something about this stuff.
Indeed. Of course you do. See, I'm going to try and... Let me see, where's my... Here, that's what I'm going to do. Paint the gun belt now. Go with a little bit of bloodstone.
Bloodstone's a good one.
It's always a good leather one.
That reddish chin just brings a little something to the party.
It does. It's a nice color.
So I'm looking forward to getting some of these new models, and I know they're not really PP models, but some of those new GW models are looking really good.
What? Now I had heard that there was an announcement that was coming out from GW. Are they finally announcing the return of Battlefleet Gothic?
I have not seen the return of Battlefleet Gothic. I don't think that announcement has come through yet. But they did show off some new models. Mostly, I mean, so this new elf faction they have, I forget what it's called. But it's like their new elves.
Okay.
And, I mean, they're kind of cool. What are they called? The Lumineth Realm Lords, I think they're called. Let me take a look here. Yep. They have this weird sort of cow motif, bull motif to a lot of things. That's very odd, but they've got some really cool models. I mean, GW models nowadays are really cool. But now, in addition to their giant, like, bull avatar thing they have, their new ones are their Dawn Rider, or not Dawn Riders, they get new ones that are basically elves with bows riding fucking kangaroos.
Elves with bows riding kangaroos.
And you know I can't make this shit up.
No, I mean, how could you?
It's, and then some of the new Dire, the Warhammer Underworlds, that game continually impresses with models, and there's such a small model count to a warband. It's so cool.
Which one's that?
The Warhammer Underworlds.
Ah, yes.
Or if you prefer, it's oh god, what's that? What's the game you're painting models for?
Riot Quest.
It's Riot Quest, but serious.
Got it.
It's actually, nominally speaking, competitive.
Okay.
Which is a rarity for GW. They're making something balanced. I mean, it's since it's got a card deck, it actually has like banned cards and stuff. So I mean, but yeah, they're basically elves riding armored kangaroos with bow, and they have bows. Not the kangaroos having bows. The elves have bows.
I want the kangaroos.
I like it though. Yeah, I mean they're cool. I like the aesthetic they're going for, and then they have this weird, almost gazelle-looking thing that one of their lords is riding. It's a very cool aesthetic if it's a bit odd. And the new vampires are very gothic and cool, and I like seeing them. So they're doing some good models there. It actually is pleasing me.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what this does here. I'm going to go with a gray here and see what this turns into for the pants. I'm not just going to wash it. I'm actually going to put some paint on it.
Oh yeah, you can't wash everything. That's a trick. People say you can. Nah. That's a trick. Really, Judge Underworld is good. I mean, small model count is where it is at.
Yeah.
I mean, who's got time to paint all those models? Especially when we've learned now. I mean, in COVID apocalypse, how important is giant armies? You're more likely to get a game of Underworlds with one person, because you don't need as big of a board. You set it up wherever. Kitchen tables are, the new gaming tables. It's good to have those options there. But I also like that they're putting them in the appropriate army. When that book comes out, they're making rules in Age of Sigmar for whatever army it is. Because it's cool. Dual purpose is even better, That's how you start getting people in the bigger army. It's like, okay, so, here I've got these. Let's say you've got all three. I think it's three Sigmar Stormcast warbands or groups from gangs from freaking
Sorry, I'm not much help with this.
From Underworld, sorry. And then suddenly you start adding some little stuff here or there. You buy a Get Started box or a Soul Wars or something, one of their starter things, and suddenly you got the beginnings of an army. A couple more models, painted slowly, suddenly you've got a whole army. It's a really good idea.
Yep, gets you into the addiction slowly so you don't realize what's about to happen to you.
Yeah, well, plus, you get dual purpose out of some models, and then you add them to your army, and you're doing good, It lets you build slowly, because that's the key. You can't just... Too many of, let's say, us old-style gamers, we just get an army. Like, I just bought everything I need for this army.
Yeah.
I think the slow growth needs to be the wave of the future. Because
Agreed.
Slow growth is where it's at, because you give people time. They get to play some models, they get to enjoy what they have, then go higher. And I'm looking forward to maybe making some of those when we finally dip back into the real
If War Machine is to survive, it will survive on the back of Brawl Machine.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna survive though.
I don't think it
I
is
don't even
either.
hear any buzz about it. I keep hearing a Warcaster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even hear that. But
I mean, I hear some stuff here or there, but I mean,
I'm
a little more looking for it than you are.
I'll be the first to tell you that I haven't been to a game store because of the COVID since over a year. And I don't know. We'll see. I am looking forward to getting back to the game store once everybody gets up, inoculated and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, I'm taking my Riot Quest models. I'm not taking War Machine at this point.
Yeah, it's not easier to be able to play. I mean, do you want to play one game of War Machine? Maybe it's good, maybe it ends poorly, or you want to play a bunch of games of Riot Quest.
Right, and frankly, that I don't care if it ends poorly.
Well, you just play the next game then.
Right, and usually playing it ending poorly is usually hilarious. Something funny has happened
Yeah.
to cause such a thing.
It was like me and Not Brushhead Dave. I mean, Not Brushhead Dave's only looking at one game right now, and it's Malifaux.
Interesting.
I'm down with that. Banian, my roommate, is looking at Legion, a little bit of Armada, a little bit of Malifaux. He's a sort of a magpie gamer like most of us. So he'll play whatever. He's actually looking to get some games in here when my schedule normalizes next Wednesday. So, we'll see what we get to play there. But, it's mostly small still. Maybe Marvel Crisis Protocol, maybe some Legion might be the biggest thing we play. We both have 40K models and all that, but we're not really looking at that as that's more of a self-defense mechanism. I need to go to the store and play some games. I'll bring 40K because I'm bound to find someone who wants to play 40K.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, man, my arm is hurting so bad. Holy shit.
Those
This is
tetanus
hard.
shots, man.
This is hard. So, yeah, my former doctor didn't. I was talking to John beforehand. I had to get a tetanus shot today because my former doctor didn't use the right one that had the whooping cough in the vaccine as well, and as a result, I got to have probably a booster a year too early. Well, probably more than a year, probably like 5 years too early, and yeah, that sucks. It's no fun. So now I'm using scale 75s. Black metal.
Oh, black metal. Holy shit.
So that's
good stuff.
The metal line that I bought is I have black metal, I have thrash metal, I have heavy metal, and speed metal.
I only brought black and heavy.
I bought a kit. I bought 2 kits. One had, and then it also came with their alchemy colors. So it had some, I don't know what the hell these are. White alchemy, cobalt alchemy, emerald alchemy, and amethyst alchemy.
Yeah, I have white alchemy too. I haven't used it for much. But I mean, it's there. But yeah, their metallics super good.
Yep. Yeah, that was for me the big discovery when I got these. I mean, John, you're the reason I have these, and boy, am I thankful that I listened to you.
Yeah, I wish I was painting more and needed more of them. They get sales frequently around the holidays and all that. And it's just good paints. It's just I don't go through enough of them right now because I paint, I don't want to say slowly, but very methodically right now.
I'm mostly happy with my paint situation right now. I mean, I have what I need.
Well, I tell people a lot, like, Hobby Streak is the way to go. You don't necessarily do it the same way. There's other things. There's Hobby 300 or whatever. Hobby 300 is basically you paint for 300 days out of the year and you keep track of it. That gives you 65 days off or so. I mean, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, if you're painting the rest of those days, you're probably equal to what I do in a normal year because I get some days where instead of painting, my Hobby Streak is playing the game, which is important too. Or my Hobby Streak might be getting on here with you and chatting
it up.
Painting. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, working till 8 p.m. and then getting on here, I don't have time afterwards to jump on and paint for half an hour. And we're talking about hobby, and it's all good. But you got to find what works for you guys, what you can do to keep it going. And I hate to say it sounds like some weird, stupid trick playing on yourself to, if you hobby streak. If you make a streak of it and you make it something that you keep up, it is more helpful than anything else. Because you can say you're going to read every day. I say I'm going to read every night before I go to bed. I don't. I get off here stupid late, I lie down, and I just go to sleep.
Yep.
I want to read more books, but I just don't necessarily have time. Plus, I mean, my focus shifts. Like, I can read, this past year I've read 12 Battletech books.
That's more than most Americans read in their goddamn lifetime.
So, yeah, I like Battletech, but at a certain point, you need to switch gears.
Yep.
Maybe I jump over, maybe I get another, what's his name? Jack Reacher book. They're not bad. They're pretty good. They got a little weird. That's why I stopped for a bit. But maybe I go back to that. Maybe I get something else. Maybe I pull out I have a Star Trek book I haven't read on my Kindle. Like if it's a cheap book, I'll buy it. I didn't get through John Carter of Mars because I got distracted by BattleTech. Maybe I go back and reread that all the way through.
I've read four or five of the John Carter books. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's also out there, but if you make it a streak, like when I was doing it as a streak, it was better, and I got off it for some reason. It's like hobbying, or exercise. You do an exercise streak, for fuck's sake. If you're trying to exercise, like Legionnaires is doing with his sword drills.
I've heard said that if you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit.
Yep.
And then after a while, it becomes a lifestyle.
Huh?
And with for me, it started off with a reason. My workout was built on, I want to go get a coffee at Starbucks. And that was enough of a motivation to get me to walk. Well, I started that in the early, in the late spring, so that by the time it got cold here, it was already a lifestyle for me. That was a thing that I looked forward to doing. Well, then it got crappy out, and that's when I started going to the gym and walking after I had my coffee with Belinda.
There you go. I used to, when I wasn't in charge at work, and when I was working in the office, I would walk around the building on my 2 breaks. Just a little bit of walking, still better than nothing, right?
Heck yeah, it is. Way better than nothing.
And sometimes I get done with lunch early, and I would go and walk around the building. But, as you get busier, stuff falls behind, so...
Yeah. Yeah, it's, a lot of times it's about prioritization. Sometimes that can be very difficult.
But of all the things, just try and find something that works for you. Maybe, so before I started a hobby streak, I was painting only on Sundays. I'd get some free time, and I would listen to the podcast I listen to, which is Junk Food Cinema, which they talk about movies, but not usually top-tier movies, usually unloved or, well, let's say fan favorites.
Got it.
I mean, the first episode was Battle Beyond the Stars. So that should tell you enough.
So good movies.
And, yeah, but I mean, so I'd listen to them because they have like an hour and a half long podcast. I'd paint that whole time.
Yep.
So you get a little bit in during the week in a good solid session. So whatever you do, just find something that works for you.
Yeah, what's actually pulling me through a lot of painting sessions recently, because when it's been a long time since we've done the show, and the thing that pulled me through was a lot of Scott Manley videos. For those who don't know, Scott Manley is a kind of a rocket nerd guy. Well, he got his start doing Kerbal Space Program videos, which are entertaining as hell. And so I watched a lot of Kerbal stuff with him, and it's something that you can have on that you don't necessarily have to look at. And he's got such a good radio voice that it's really pleasant and calming, and it's nice to listen to. So
or the history guy.
Yep.
He's good. He's got basically a podcast with video. He talks about forgotten history. Any of those things. Sometimes, Forgotten Weapons, if you're into that sort of thing, with Ian McKellen. He's good stuff, and only occasionally do you have to look up. Any terrible TV show, just put it on the background, listen to it, especially if it's more dialogue-driven or old. So those old shows, you don't need to see the effects.
No. In fact, you're better off without them.
Sometimes you are. I mean, some of the purists will go like Star Trek, like, we got to watch the original effects. I'm like, I'd rather see remastered effects, because a little bit goes a long way with that series.
Yep.
But, man, what is, like my other host, my other podcast, Gonzo, gets a ton of stuff watched every week because he's watching stuff while he's hobbying, which I can do a little bit, but, for example, I put an hour-long episode on, I'm only going to get a half an hour painting done during that hour, don't you worry, because I'm looking up at the episode a lot.
You know what? That's good. That's what you want to get out of it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can sit around. When I used to watch football religiously on Sundays, I would literally hobby while I'm watching football. There's a lot of downtime in football.
Yes, there is.
Like a lot of sports, like maybe not so much hockey or basketball. Those are actually much more exciting. Or proper English football. Those are a lot more exciting all the time. But like American football, baseball, there's a lot of downtime where you can hobby during that.
You know, for a culture that is go 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 as the American culture is, boy, our sports are not that.
I mean, our national pastimes, I mean, respectfully, boring as sin.
Fact.
It is a highlight sport. But, I mean, honestly, keep in mind, like, I learned a lot from some people I worked with and my old bosses who they would take people to the games and do business. Because, you know, you're there. It's private enough. People are going to hear you, but it don't matter. There's really never going to see it again in your life. There's some excitement going on. Then there's a lot of downtime. You can talk business.
And honestly, going to a baseball game
Totally
is nice.
Yes.
You get a day out in the sunshine. There's actually a
Yeah.
thing that happens occasionally, and you can have a nice beer. You can have a nice hot dog. Everything's good. That is a relaxing day at the park, and I like that. But
when I got tickets to that Redskins playoff game a couple years ago against Green Bay, like that was a great time for me and my mom. I'm glad we got it then when she could still walk straight.
yep,
Not so much anymore, but you know, it was a good time. She enjoyed it. Sure, parking was expensive. Sure, food was expensive, but you're paying for the experience.
yeah.
You know?
My problem
yeah.
with going to a
True
football
Right.
a professional football game is that I've had so many bad experiences with chowderheads,
Well,
with bad
yeah,
human beings.
yeah, we need to get by on that. There was a video I saw, NFL video of, you know, let's say football etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
And it was done half as a joke, but half as they got someone from Emily Post to say, like, no, you're not going to be nice for all the time, but there's the basic things you can say. You know, you can say please to staff, thank you to the staff, you know. Like, you can tell the guy good hit. Like, yeah, you guys are playing each other. You're competitive against each other. It doesn't mean you're dicks to each other.
Hey,
That's
it's almost like
America,
politicians could learn something from this.
everyone could. Miniature gamers, all sorts of gamers, video gamers. Like,
Yeah.
look, sure, these people are your quote unquote enemy, but you don't got to be a dick about it.
They're not even your enemy; they're your opponent.
Exactly. People don't get that. They're taught too much like that military style,
Yep.
old military style, not modern. I think modern military sort of pulled that out of people because they realized what they were making. Where it's like, look, yeah, this guy is your adversary, but that doesn't mean you just, you know, mean there's no rules, you know? You're not like a dick. You don't get up there and start, you know, cursing at people. We had that at a game, actually, a MechWarrior Online game. My group had two lances out, but we were on opposite sides, so we're fighting each other. So we're in separate, you know, Discord channels, chatting away, and ends up being one of our guys versus a couple of theirs, and Margaret does a great job and finishes the game and wins. I'm like, oh, cool, Fox, that's great. You got to put that on your YouTube channel. He's like, I can't. Because one of the guys on this team was spouting all sorts of racist bullshit against our people, against Bio, who's the guy who was on our side who was fighting.
Really?
And just being a general trash human being.
That's a
Apparently
shame.
got the entire team to report him, but still, like, that kind of shit. You know, you ruin a good moment, you know, because like people get upset. Like you just played a game that ended up 12-11. It does not get any closer. It's a great game.
And it's a game.
Yeah, a game. So keep that in your hearts, guys. It's like miniatures games. That guy across the table from you is, you know, you guys are competing against each other, but at the end of the day, you guys have more in common than you don't.
Yeah, and be decent human beings about life.
Legionnaire says that he sucks. He got the double whammy of flu and tetanus shots. They didn't bother me, but I spent the last 18 years basically jumping into briar patches for work.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like fun. And he says, after dealing with staff tickets at an old job, I don't ever go to a football game again. I'm like, I would. I mean, I don't know if I could take my mom again. We'd have to get some special, we'd get her a wheelchair or something, because I mean, you get that age. It
Hell
happens.
yeah.
It's all.
It's called life.
She can start. Yeah, she can start physical therapy because she recognized that her hip is bad. When she got back from, she went out to see her great grandson, in California. And when she came back, basically through the airport, she told me they basically got her a wheelchair because she can't walk all that distance.
Airport.
Which, to me is upsetting because I think of her as, still spry, but the reality is not so much. But off topic, of course. But yeah, I would definitely get tickets again. I mean, you can't let those guys bring you down. If you're going to enjoy something, don't let them bring you down. I won't go to anything alone like that, but with a crew, absolutely. I don't. It's the 2020s. We're standing up for ourselves now. We're not letting that shit go. Someone starts being a dick, you tell them, "Hey, dude, shut the fuck up. You're being a dick." You don't start there. That's your third step. But you let them go like, "Hey, dude, this is the game. Calm down." If they keep going, dude, shut it. See, I don't fear because, I mean, what am I worried about? We start some shit in a football stadium. There's 1 million people there. Ain't no one gonna be stupid. It happens so rarely anymore, and only to opposing player fans, which is somehow worse. Because yes, I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I would never do anything blatantly mean to their fans. Taunt a little bit if we win, maybe. Is what it is. I'd expect the same ribbon in response.
Yep.
But nothing. One of them stumbles, I'm going to help them up. Jesus, it doesn't matter. It's a fucking sports team, for Christ's sakes. Talk about the least important of the least important. It's not even like they're wearing a MAGA hat or something. And even then, I help someone up. Shaking my head the whole time, but, Oh,
speaking of MAGA hats, if any of you are watching this, consider joining the Patriot Party. Any of you MAGA types, please do. We'll get you. We'll put an address in the comments or something. So I went with the gray pants and the tan shirt. I think it's going to work out fine.
Mm-hmm.
The
blue, the focus, the blue and the brown for the skin, and keeps you centered.
Yep, and I knew the hat was going to be that coal black color again, and I'm fine with where it's going. I do need to do some more detail. I need to get some bone color out here to do the nails and that kind of stuff. Start getting some of the more detail-y type things in here. But it's coming along. I'm pretty alright with it.
Yep. At this point, let me see from behind. John, there we go. Cool. All right.
What I'm going to do with the tassels.
The gray is probably fine on the tassels, actually.
What I'm going to do with the tassels is I'm going to wash them with Nuln Oil to give them some darken them, and then I'm going to come back with a very light dry brush of probably Frostbite, and just to kind of to peek out the detail on them. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
Yeah, they're not going to attract too much. They keep it. That's what make them too. Don't make them too ostentatious.
No, you don't.
Because then they will look off. But no, I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a little. I've got a little contrast warp lightning paint here. I'm going to put that on the little booze bottle that's hanging on his hip.
Oh yeah.
Just a little, just to make it, give it a little bit of color.
Your local gaming store has giant tags on them, huh?
What's that?
Your local gaming store puts giant price tags on your bottles.
Yeah.
That's all right. I noticed. I actually did go into my local game store. The Kickstarter for the train making book that Mel and Dave Taylor were working on finally delivered. Mine was delivered in the rain and just left outside on the step. So it turns out I didn't check it before, and I just know it was bad. And I just put it aside and contacted DT, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll meet you at the local store, and I'll get you one of my replacement copies." I'm like, "That's perfectly fine." So I got there, and the book was actually in pretty good shape. He might even be able to give that to someone as like a promo copy. It dried out pretty well because it's glossy pages, so
Cool.
water's not as bad of a deal. And I guess I caught it in time, but
Cool.
I went in the game store then. It was it's still weird running around with a mask, a lot of people trying to be cognitive of social distancing and having their back room closed. But
Yeah,
a little bit of stuff that was there.
The LGS I played, I used to play Keyforge at. The back room's, all storage materials now. It's weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, technically when Bailey and I are ready, I mean, I was ready for this eventuality. I do have a full table, 4x6 that I can fold out and we can play on. And funny enough, most of our games don't take 4x6. In fact, technically, I think even the new edition of 40K doesn't necessarily even work on 4x6.
The nice thing about having 4x6 though is you got a lay down area if you're in a 4x4.
A 4x4, yeah, or 3x6, you got a little bit of area because that's Legion, or 3x3 for Malifaux, or some smaller games. It's nice, but it's a good table. We also got lots of space. We're cleaning stuff out. This year's early goal is to get rid of a lot of our junk stuff and have more area.
That's always a good goal.
Yeah, we were going to do it fall last year, but
that didn't work out.
No, not so much. We got a couple things up, but we've got we've got tons of extra chairs and furniture and stuff that we don't necessarily need, and stuff that I'm never going to lift again because it's not mine and fuck it. It's bad enough we're thinking about getting the axe and just taking it to it and being like, let's just make it into smaller chunks.
That's what we did with that one couch at the last John Con in Utah. Thing was just a terrible couch. It needed to die, so that was the year that Chain Attack had all the problems with their dice orders for their Kickstarter.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually had no problems with my dice.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the problem was theirs. Getting them set up, and they had all kinds of trouble dealing with Chessex.
Oh, yeah, Chessex is dealing with them with another podcast for dice. They're not what they used to be.
That's too bad.
Their lead time was, and this is pre-COVID, was terrible.
Well, they had all kinds of problems with it, so that we spray painted the couch with Chessex and let people wail on it.
That is good and cathartic.
Yeah, it was good for everybody involved. I think Trevor had enough of them.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
And Jay.
Yeah. Jay's just taking it every way right now. Disneyland canceled their passes. They're not doing those anymore. He was sad. He goes every year.
They're not doing passes at all anymore?
Well, not like the passes they had.
Oh, okay.
So, honestly, I don't know what they're doing. Right now they have really strict guidelines on going to the park. Enough that my buddy Not Brushhead Dave decided he wasn't going to go. Even though I was thinking about late in this year, early next year, I'm like, no. Put everything off an extra year. Like, if you're like, as soon as it opens up, I'm going to go to this thing that everyone loves, don't. Schedule it for the year after.
Yep.
Enjoy the stuff that's local that no one's going through. Like, my list of things I'm going to do when this is over besides play games is very small. I'm going to go to a nice breakfast place, and I'm going to have me some nice sit-down breakfast.
That is a good goal.
You can make stuff at home, but it's not the same. They got the skills I ain't got.
I'll tell you what, when John Con happens again, whatever form it takes,
yeah.
We need to go down to the Maple Table in downtown Racine.
All right.
It is the best breakfast in this city.
Look, honestly, right now, I'd settle for that place in walking distance of your house. That place was plenty good.
It was good, but Maple Table is a transformative experience. They have this thing called Capone cakes, which it's like you're eating a cake. I mean, it'll kill you.
Yeah, those are hard. I mean, I'm actually not a big pancake guy anymore because for breakfast I just can't get all that down anymore. Which is good. I don't need to eat like that anymore.
Nobody needs to eat like that ever. It's like 3 days worth of food.
True. Yeah,
Okay.
listeners, I agree. Chinese buffet, they're going down. That old skit. You've been here for an hour. You go now.
You go
Why
down.
you no eat egg roll? Egg roll good for you.
Shut up,
Like-
bitch, and bring me more crab legs.
That's gonna happen because people are gonna descend upon sit down eating. Now I sit down
Hey, Tin
every
Man.
Saturday at a place that has limited seating with only my buddies at the table. Relatively safe, not super safe, but if it's the only bad thing I do, I guess it is what it is because I'm not going to continue to go without seeing all my buddies. And we sit there with Trollton Heston and Morton Joe and Not Brushhead Dave and the Jason, and we hang out and we just have some good barbecue and just chill. It's a good Saturday. People laugh at me like, "Oh, you spend every Saturday and go to lunch at the same place." Like, God damn right I do. What's wrong with you? Why don't you? Why
Exactly.
don't you see your friends and enjoy yourself?
I am thinking that this is done being blocked out.
Yeah, it's looking. That, sir, is already a tabletop model.
Yep.
The
I
tabletop.
like how that came together.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I'm pretty happy. So, what's up, Tin Man XL? Thanks for joining us in the chat room. Fucking royalty in the house.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna put a little wash on this, and then I'm gonna put the Nuln oil on it
Oh, you can
because
hit
I
it
want
with
to
some-
see where that fringe is headed, and then we'll get over to the media section. Talk about media for a little bit because
I got things to talk.
my arm ain't having it. I'll get this on nice and thick.
You know, everyone talks about the Agrax Earthshade, but the Nuln oil is also magic in a bottle.
It is a critical part of your success package.
Yeah,
They have
I
two
mean,
different functions.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, but either one, you could easily hit a model with just that and go. Even Seraphim Sepia, if you could do that just... The Jibby washers are so good, dipping is no longer even a thing. Homemade taco sounds really good, Tim, man. I had sushi for dinner. It was good, but not as filling as I'd want. Because Wednesday is sushi day at the local grocery store. And that may not sound good to you, but they actually have legitimate mediocre quality sushi chefs.
You can find decent sushi in a grocery store if you go to the right places.
I only need to get it on Wednesdays because that's their $5 sushi deal. And they got a guy in the back making sushi, and it's good. It's
However,
not great. It's good.
gasoline station avoid.
Yeah, I would avoid that. Also, John, you'll be happy, you'll be impressed and pleased.
Mhm.
I had a salad for lunch.
Fuck yeah, man! Mix in them greens.
I'm gonna have salad for lunch tomorrow because the salad I bought was extra big.
There you go. That's good.
The only good thing about this schedule I have is I almost never eat out. Like the one day a week I go into the office and then Saturday week are pretty much the only days because when I have to go in the office on the way home I stop and I usually get something from a fast food joint on the way home.
You know, speaking of salads, I didn't tell the poop story.
Oh, the poop story. That's the poop story.
So, along with all the vaccines that I got and stuff like that, they were talking about what my next set of what kind of other tests I needed because it's been a while for my cholesterol and stuff like that. And I said, well, they said you did the Cologuard last year, so you're not due for another year. For those of you who don't know, when a person gets old, colon cancer is something that becomes a worry, a concern, if you will. And there are two ways that you can have yourself checked for colon cancer. One is they put you out with the anesthesia They ram a camera up your ass. That is called a colonoscopy. Or, and this is the new breakthrough, but 3 years ago this thing was invented called Colon Guard. Colon Guard is they send you a box with another box inside of it that is a plastic box with a screw top lid that you poop into. And then you put the lid on it, and you put the poop in the mail, and they analyze it, and then they tell you if you've got the cancer.
Oh.
So your options are camera in the ass or pooping in the box. And I'm here to tell you, we've all known for a long time that cats have had it figured out. Right? They poop in a box. Guess what I do every 2 years now? I poop in a box. Because I don't need to live stream my ass. I put underwear on my head for charity.
Think about the Twitch stream, the Twitch followers you get, John.
I'm going to tell you what, if I could figure out a way to route that, and I got enough donations, I would do it. But so there you go. There's the poop story. Consider pooping in a box. I'm here. It's Menoth John approved. Pooping in a box.
I mean, I will definitely ask my doctor about the possibility, but I don't think they want that shit.
So it's cheaper than getting a camera rammed up your ass.
I mean, I like cheaper too. I mean, and they're the only ones that deal with the shit. I mean, I poop all the time. Anything.
Yep. So anyway,
I have to wait for the days when it's more regular because my gastrointestinal system is not a good thing.
You should try. You should try something like the Metamucil, the fiber powder. It's good.
I'm worried what that will do to me though, because I am so inconsistent.
Initially, you'll think that God has descended upon you. However, you will become more regular.
I'm pretty regular.
But I mean, it'll be like nice and regular. It won't be just my God. So consider it. I turned another fellow podcaster who I don't have permission to talk about his poop habits on the television here, but he is a fan of the psyllium husk powder as I am.
Well, remember everyone, you don't just share other people's shit on the podcast.
No, you got to have permission to talk about their poops. But anyway,
I'd like to promise that I'm done with poop jokes, but I can't guarantee it.
No, nobody can. You can't. Nobody can guarantee that. All right, folks, we've talked about poop. We've talked about not pooping things. We've talked about lots of different stuff. I'm going to try and get this. I'm trying to get this so that it's there. Well, I guess that's as good as it's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to transition over to the media section.
Media section, yeah.
So,
well, speaking of poop, I finished season 4 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
No. The quality is better. The episodes are of a higher quality, and they are generally now in chronological order.
Yeah.
The problem is that none of this matters. Like you have Asajj Ventress, whose story finishes up mostly this season. It's a cliffhanger, so I'm sure it finishes up later, but a lot of it starts to finish up this season, and you're like, that's a wasted character. You went from not being seen and suddenly focused for a couple episodes, and then now sharing time with people, and you're like, yeah, you guys didn't know what you were doing. I understand there were probably corporate overlords telling you what you had to do, but I'm here to tell you that it's not great. It's like its quality is much better, but it's still not great. The whole Night Sisters things with their quote unquote magic is just fucking stupid. Not like the story. I like the idea of what they're doing. I mean, bringing back Darth Maul is on the surface pretty stupid. I heard turns pretty good, but the whole idea should have been laughed out of the fucking office. Like, a guy who showed up for what, fucking 20 minutes in a movie ago? Nah, we don't need to bring him back. You could have done something better. Because affecting him in Obi-Wan, there's no suspense there. There's nothing there. Because we know from movies that Obi-Wan lives, doesn't lose a hand or anything. we don't know about Darth Maul, but honestly, up until the point where they start working on him, no one cares. Like, yeah, he was cool. He was like less cool Boba Fett. Boba Fett at least did shit. He just tracked a guy and then got murdered because that's what bad guys happen. I don't know where the idea of making the bad guys main characters for plot arcs became an idea. It's not. There's no character strong enough in Star Wars to have a bad guy plot for, because the whole thing is they plot for a bad guy. You should be focusing on Anakin. And they did a couple episodes. I love the episodes where they start to show Anakin getting angry at stuff and it affecting him. I like those. That's setting good shit up. There should be more of that and more clones and more Ahsoka, for fuck's sake, because at this point, spoiler Mandalorian, you got 2 seconds to turn away. Ahsoka shows up in that and she's cool. And there's a far cry from where she starts and where she ends. I like to see the story there.
Yep.
So that's part of why I'm going to keep watching.
I'm going to beg to differ with your take on Maul, because I know where this is headed. And yes, you're right. He plays a role in a storyline that unfolds that when it's all done, you look back on it and go, holy shit.
Does it end in Rebels, I assume? Spoiler, I know he's in Rebels.
Yeah, yes, that's important, and he plays a great role in Rebels, but yet still in the Clone Wars. So, I'm all done with Clone Wars again, and we started watching Rebels, and I forgot how long it took for Clone Wars to pick up pace. And
I think that's what everyone forgets is they tout the ending of it. They tout the ending of it so much, that people are like, "Oh, great, this is great," and then you're like, "It's that oversold thing." People are like, "This is the best thing ever." And they watch it, and I'm like, "It's not. It's really not." So, but again, the quality is much better than where we started from. I don't like this season as much because I don't like Cad Bane. He is not as cool as Boba Fett was even before Boba Fett came back.
Yeah. I'm not a Cad Bane guy either. I am, however, all in on what's his face, the pirate guy.
Oh yeah, I'm looking to see him in Rebels. I hear that's where he gets good.
Yeah.
I realize they're going to show Saw Gerrera at some point in here, and I ain't even seen Saw Gerrera yet. There's only 2.5 seasons left. I'm like out 7 of the half season. Hondo, thank you. Hondo was amusing in those episodes. He was the most amusing part of some of the episodes he was in.
Much love for Hondo. He's got a big heart. Love that guy.
And I'm sure I'm going to have the same opinion when I get to the end of this. And the big problem is they made a series ostensibly for kids at the start and realized that was a mistake and tried to change gears halfway through.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't come out as well. I give this season 2.5 shots of Kraken. It's fine. You're not going to hate any episode. Even the multi-parter that was Obi-Wan going undercover is good because it actually lays foundation for stuff in the future. And for fuck's sake, whoever started making up names for their characters needs to be smacked.
Star Wars names are the worst.
That, like, Eval Moralo, like, come on, really? Really? It's like Savage Opress, like, for fuck's sake, guys.
That was a terrible job. Savage Opress is the worst name ever.
Just like, but, like Hondo. Hondo's a fine name. Cool. Just some of those names, you're like, yikes. But anyways, 2.5. I will continue. I didn't watch as many as I wanted to while I was working late. But I'll continue on.
Legionnaires honestly makes a good point. What would happen if you just ripped Jar Jar and all of the Gungans just right out of the entire Star Wars world and replaced it with Hondo and his pirates? I think it just gets better, and they can serve the same role.
Yeah. I mean, it would work fine. He wouldn't work as well in
the Senate.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
In the Senate, yeah. But aside from that, he'd be fine. Actually, it'd be a damned improvement.
Yep.
The only Gungan worth of shit is Captain Tarpals, and they wasted his ass on the shitty episode.
Anyway, what else? So let's see. I'm trying to think. I watched So the there's a streaming service called Tubi, and they have all of the Gameras.
Mhm.
And I am now convinced that I have finally found the best of all the Gamera movies.
Oh shit.
And in my opinion, and this is controversial hot take, this is the kind of shit you're only going to find here on Opinion with Menoth John, Gamera hot takes, that Gamera versus Jigar or Jiger is the best of them all. Jiger is it looks like a triceratops without the frilly bit, kind of a monster. So instead of having the big horn thing, he's got horns, three pointing forward. But there's not the big frill to protect the neck. He's got an orange.
You gotta protect your neck.
Gotta protect the neck. He has an orange beam that shoots out of his nose that kind of vaporizes everything that it touches, and he can shoot spears out of his horns. Which, let me tell you, for a turtle that relies on pulling his head and his arms in order to get his jets going, you shoot that guy with spears so he can't pull those legs in and then tip him on his back. That is a sad giant turtle.
Fair enough.
It is on Tubi. It is in Japanese with subtitles. The subtitles are broken bad. They're hilarious, some of them. Every now and again, they're not all broken, but every now and again they'll slip something in, and it'll just be hilarious that it happened that way. It's well paced. It has kids because it was a kids movie, and so but they're like less annoying than your average run of the mill Itchy and Charlie or whatever their names are that are currently in their Timmy. It's pretty good stuff. I give Gamera versus it's Jiger. Jigger.
Yep.
I give him 2 shots of crack.
Okay.
What else you got?
Interesting. By the quick Wikipedia. I watched The Expanse season 4. Speaking of eyes and space.
So season 4 is not the current season.
Not the most recent. No.
Okay.
It's the one before, the first one on the alien planet.
So the weakest of the Expanse seasons.
I actually enjoyed it.
No, I'm not saying you're not going to enjoy it. I'm just saying it's the weakest. That's still good science. That's still damn good sci-fi.
It's obviously got some big setup, but it definitely has a Bern Gorman, I think his name is, who plays the bad guy.
Yep.
I enjoy him. He's a bad guy you love to hate because he's not pure evil. He is just pragmatic as fuck. You know, when he and Amos face off, and it's like we're very similar. They are very similar. So of course I love in the end when he figures out just how different they are in what ways.
Mm-hmm.
That one of those last scenes. I did enjoy it. I definitely thought it could have used a little different pacing because the story with Bobby seems to take place quicker than other stuff. The whole thing, obviously, the time does not seem analogous for everyone. To that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There were several episodes I was like, I gotta watch the next episode and soon.
Yep.
I do hate that they killed off one of my favorite recurring characters.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important ones, but I was pissed off initially. Like, why do you give your gun up to the enemy when you know they're going to kill you? You could have killed him and then died. But then I realized what he did is he recorded him, basically got him to monologue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, my esteem for you went up, and it's just gone up every time I see him.
Yep.
Because he was in last season, and he was an antagonist last season. But this is a good series that shows you that just because you're an antagonist does not mean you were the enemy.
Yep.
He was just doing what he thinks is right. He's like the lighter side of Bern Gorman's character, who takes it sort of to extreme. I loved what they did with Amos. I mean, I like Holden better in this series than I have in the past couple, I think.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Because he's a lot more of who he should be. He's the fucking Boy Scout. He's the good guy. He's like, I gotta save everyone. He puts it on his shoulder because no one else will. And I'm going to give it 0. I got to give it 0 because it's great.
Yeah, I mean, Expanse is the best science fiction out there. I mean, it's Mandalorian level awesome.
Yep.
Picard level awesome.
Hard sci-fi until it's not.
Yep.
They're like, oh, fucking... And it's like, we don't know. They don't try to explain, oh, the quantum... No, we just don't know. They just... Now suddenly fusion doesn't work. We don't know why. Fuck you builders.
Because magic, science far enough in advance is indistinguishable from magic.
Yep. I'm going to try and get some more Clone Wars kicked out before I start watching Season 5.
Season 5 of The Expanse is, in my opinion, the best season so far.
Oh, shit. And I also have to see Season 3 of Discovery.
Yeah. Yeah, Discovery's a show.
Oh. We'll have to talk about it at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm coming back to Discovery. I think I think I'm done with Discovery.
The season has been more divisive than others, I hear.
Yeah, in a world of infinite possibilities to watch as many different things, I'm not sure I have time in my life for Star Trek Discovery. I mean, it ended fine, but that's about all I can say about it. It ended really well. I think that they could easily pull the plug on the series at this point.
They won't. They got nothing else Star Trek coming.
What else are they going to do? Yeah.
They got to get Picard going, and they got to be careful because, I mean, Patrick Stewart ain't no spring chicken.
No, he's not getting younger.
I mean, I want him to get younger. Can we? I mean, is there a fund we can pay Patrick Stewart get younger fund?
Maybe if you join the Patriot Party, they could work on that because they got the Q on there, so maybe Q can work up some pedophile blood or something or whatever they talk about and get some of that going for him.
Being a Star Trek and Picard, that is a double joke, sir, and I approve.
I'm there for you. I called back to the early part of the show. That's some high-level podcasting right there.
Yeah, no. And also, you're going back to old Star Trek. We ain't seen Q in forever.
That's right.
Keep it quiet.
Oh, hell, I wasn't even making that reference. I was talking about QAnon, but that's fine.
I know, but that's what makes it better.
Boom.
Because it's a double joke.
See, I'm making jokes I don't even know I'm making. That's how off the hook I am.
Also, transcended the jokes.
The six people who are watching us, that you're witnessing goddamn comedy right here. Let me tell you what. So.
What else you watch, John?
Oh man, I'm watching The Shoulder Pain, and I think I'm done, John. I think I got to call it a show.
Well, let me just do one more thing. Just a quick note. I watched Knives Out with my mom and my niece.
Great show.
It's just as good the second time, if not better.
Yep, I bet it is.
Great. Watch it again if you guys have watched it. If you haven't, watch it.
It's a very good show. Guys, I'm sorry I'm petering out about 10 minutes early. I got that tetanus shot, and it's just giving me all kinds of hell. I think I need to go lay down. So I'm going to play the music, as you want to do. Folks, you could, you should probably follow us on the Twitters. I mean, and put the subscription on. We haven't been banned by Twitter yet.
We have not been banned by
Pinterest has not banned us. Amazon web services, shit, they haven't banned us. They've never heard of us. And
well, they've heard of me. They get enough packages coming to my house.
There you go. Hit the, if you're watching on the YouTube, hit that subscribe and hit the bell. If you're watching us on the Twitch, make sure you're following us because we could Twitch at any moment. You don't want to miss that. If you're watching us on the Facebooks, I wouldn't have any idea what to tell you to do with the Facebooks. Painting with Menoth John has a Facebook site. Basically, all we do with it is tell you, hey, we got an episode coming, which is important to know. So, anyway, on behalf of the co-host with the mo-host, Mr. John Spencer, I'm, of course, Menoth John. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Tune in next week for episode 4 of the Mothership RPG, where they are going to be in for some shit, let me tell you what. I'll see you later, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good night. Wear your mask.
It's kind of the law if you're in a federal building now.
Indeed, it is.
Shit in a box. Shit on the floor. Get swifty.
I actually got that reference.
Yeah. Get swifty.